New York Democrats who unseated 3 Republicans in Congress on Election Day have been in Washington over the past week, learning the ropes as they prepare to be sworn in. New York One's Washington reporter Kevin Fry caught up with the freshmen and asked about how each is planning to approach their new jobs.
Democrat Laura Gillen starting her congressional career with a win, nabbing first dibs on vacant office space in the lottery for incoming House members. She was one of 3 Democrats who unseated Republicans in New York congressional races earlier this month. Now that trio, Gillen, John Mannion, and Josh Riley, is preparing to settle into a Washington ruled by Republicans, each indicating they're happy to forge a bipartisan record when possible, working with Donald Trump's White House if it helps back home.
Trump's in. He said he wants to secure our border. Let's start hammering out a deal on that.
When President Trump was on the campaign trail talking about no tax on tips, talking about getting rid of the SALT cap, talking about ending the tax on Social Security benefits, if he was serious about those are things that I could support.
But they're also declaring red lines, where they'll do their best to be a check on the president's power. Mannion, a former teacher, telling Spectrum News this.
When we talk about dismantling the Department of Education, that's a problem.
Mannion will represent Syracuse, the future home of a major semiconductor plant made possible in part by one of President Joe Biden's cornerstone accomplishments, the CHIPS and Science Act, passed in 2022. In October, Trump called the semiconductor program, quote, so bad. Mannion says he'll work to preserve it.
It's already been negotiated. We shouldn't change it. The investments are already happening, hiring is already happening, permitting is already happening, and we're moving forward. Let's continue that.
One of the next big steps for these new members will be committee assignments. Riley told me he's going to ask to be in the Agriculture Committee to work on issues for his rural district. Mannion pointed to committees focused on transportation and infrastructure, or education as his preference. In Washington, Kevin Fry, New York One.